Guys, we're going to look ahead again. We were doing some preseason top 25 stuff. Now I want to go back to looking ahead, but I want to talk about potential decisions. NBA decisions that could really swing things for a program, for an entire conference, for the entire country next year. Who do you have your eyes on as the most important stay or go decision in college basketball, RC?
Wow. We've gotten Proctor. I'm going to say two guys because I think one will leave, but Filipowski and Lively, I think the decision on both of those guys. I think Filipowski may lean toward leaving, but his draft stock is kind of up and down. You don't know where he's going to go. So I think if he were to come back, I think he'd be even higher. But I think Derek Lively's the anomaly here. I think he should come back. I think there's more he could do and play more. But if he does, then with that team, with Proctor's news and Jeremy Roach and those guys, I think they could be pretty damn good.
What would worry me with Filipowski is kind of what happened to Matthew Hurt. Do you guys remember how hyped up Matthew Hurt was in year one and year two, and then it just kind of got stale, and then he goes into second? Like, that's the thing that would scare me. If I was Kyle Filipowski, I would go ahead and go. Truth be told, I would go ahead and go.
No, I mean, if you're a first-round draft pick, you should go.
Yeah.
I mean, you should go. There's no question about that. I'm not saying that. I just think he's fluctuating on boards. As long as you're first round, I'm advocate for you to pack your bags, get out of there.
Get out of there.
So the good people at home should know this. If they don't, I'm sitting by two professional basketball players here. They've played for large sums of money in their lives. How would you go about the decision of this? Because it's a different decision than it was when you guys played, right? Like, there's so many more factors that go into it.
First round, you go.
First round.
That's it?
Like, it's that simple. If you're a first round lock.
You're not going back with a number, NIL-wise now? Like,
Not if you're first round.
No, because it's a multi-year deal within the first round. Like that's the big thing that kind of throws things on its head a little bit. The fact that you can get it for multiple seasons. NIL, that's usually 1 year and out, right? Unless you're Nigel Pack, which he wasn't going to get drafted anyway. Good for him. Hey, Carter.
Did you guys like school that much? That's what I'm saying. If I got a second round grade, I'm out. Y'all like going to class?
But it's non-guaranteed contract. You get over there and you get
Okay,
lost.
what about with two-way contracts?
Well, but you get lost like I did.
No.
Truth be told, you get lost like I did.
The odds are against you so much when you do that. You're better off, if you're a second-round draft pick, you'll make more money going back to school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And truthfully, the guys who make the most money, I hate to say it, most of them aren't NBA guys anyway. That's why they're getting the most money to come back to school. They're making that decision to say, hey, I'm going to come back because they're going to make more money from going back to school than they were going to the NBA. NBA first-round draft picks don't come back to school. They don't. The only one that probably did that recently was probably Taquavian Smith last year. He was the only one for NC State.
I would say Tyrese Proctor turning it down this year, too.
I think you could argue it didn't help his stock either after this year, right?
Maybe not.
I don't know.
Usually it doesn't, but it didn't hurt him.
I mean, he had a good year, right?
It didn't hurt him.
Yeah. How much does the school matter? Like, because now, I mean, the transfer element is also here, right? If you're a potential first-round pick at a school that is not a traditional powerhouse, are your options just, hey, I'm going to get paid here because I'm not going to get paid at my school, or tamper? T.O. was doing a little tampering a little bit ago here. I don't know, guys.
No, that wasn't tampering. He's from MJ Rice is from North Carolina. Okay. That's the only reason I insinuated that.
Okay. Hey, I got nothing against tampering. This is a pro-tampering side.
He's
of the
in the portal, so it's
right
free
here.
now.
I'm all about tampering.
Pro-tampering, right?
Big pro-tampering. But wait, there's one guy that I think needs to be mentioned, though, is a big one that might come back, and it's Tubelis. Because you have an All-American level candidate. And I honestly, in my list, in my personal All-American list, Dauster is the first team All-American in my eyes.
Do you think he's going to be able to do it without Kirk Creasy?
I honestly think he might enjoy himself a little more without Kirk Creasy, to be honest. Like, he'll be the show. He'll be the show. Kirk Creasy was the show.
But
he wasn't the best player or
technically, he's on an I-20, so he shouldn't get NIL money, so it shouldn't matter, Carter.
They Western that thing straight to.
We'll lose that paperwork.
Remember that now. He doesn't get NIL money because he's Lithuanian now.
They're sending their Western
Crazy
Union.
rule, by the way.
They're sending that Western Union directly to Latuvas Ritas.
Arvidas, they give it to Arvidas.
Yeah, they're giving it to Arvidas, and he's going to have to funnel it to his mother.
Yeah, we're okay
that
with
man's getting paid. Like, don't be naive.
We're okay with that here. Also, how dare you diss my boy Kirk Creasy? I felt a little kick under the table there.
I like Kirk Creasy, man.
In doses, right? I mean,
doses.
you can't have too much of it.
He goes to Xavier. He gets back to what he can do.
Yeah.
Runs up and down. And a lightning rod.
Yeah.
Sean can temper it a little bit. I wouldn't be mad at that. He's visiting other places. West Virginia, that would be an interesting one. Nebraska, he was just there as well.
Key Tominaga. Tominaga
and Kirk Creasy, funnest backcourt in the country.
Oh, the electric factory.
Yeah.
Not productive, maybe, but going to be a lot of
That's going to be the funnest 2-18 team in Big Ten history.
That'd be like you and me playing pickup game on the same team.
Neither one of us are passing half court to get to
Whoever
defense.
comes across half is jacking it.
I'm watching that.
Yeah,
I'm watching that.
Speaking of which, are we doing the media game? I know you put on a show last year. That's what reports
I'm playing
said.
Saturday. I'm playing Saturday.
It's a thing? Is
Yeah,
RC
it's a
lacing
thing.
them up or no?
I got the email from
Never.
Pete.
Okay.
See what? Come on.
I said never.
I know you got the kicks. In the
I
back of the
retired for never. I got golf shoes in my bag. That's it. I can't play number horse.
Is this an invite-only
MACL.
thing, T.O.? Is that what it is at this point?
I-
Last year
I
it felt
got
a
the
little more
invite.
open. There was group texts involved. I was on them. I have no idea why.
You're not playing?
I'm not playing.
No,
I got a guy right next to me who wants to prove something.
I got an
I'll pull
email.
my men's league film
I got
up.
an email this morning. That was it. That's all I know.
All right, Carter,
I don't even know
you
who
said
else
you're
on
here
the
to
email.
prove something?
Yeah. I'll have T.O. forward me that email. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need the invite.
Did you
All
bring
right.
your shoes?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me figure this out.
Always. Wherever I go.
See what happens. What's your player comp? Your 6'7" Boogie Cousins, attitude-wise, not game-wise?
Yeah, I'm like a Boris Diaw skill set with a DeMarcus Cousins mindset.
Oh, really?
I can sometimes be a little agitated, but I can be special as well.
I don't know that that's good, honestly. All right, one name that I had, I can't believe nobody mentioned this yet. Isn't it just Zach Edey? Isn't that the most important stay or go decision?
He's
Because if
coming
he's
back.
back, Purdue's #1 in the country preseason, right?
He's coming back.
You think it's done deal?
I think he should.
think
How
so,
much
but-
success is he going to have in the NBA?
I think he'll
They're
have
gonna
more
pull
than
that
people
back.
think.
I think
I really
you
do. It
are-
goes back to
I
money.
think you're wrong.
Why?
Because there's a lot of 7'3", 7'4" dudes in the NBA that have a hard time guarding ball screens. Like, dude, there's a difference in guarding Tyson Walker in a ball screen and guarding
But
Chris Paul or
You can't
anybody.
throw him out there for like 10 minutes? Just like, I mean, Boban.
You guys
Boban-
just want him
Boban-
out of the Big
Boban-
Ten.
I'm saying
Stop
Boban,
this
maybe.
nonsense. They
No,
just
I'm-
want him out of the Big Ten. That's all this
I
is.
kind of do. I do.
That's
I'm
it.
not gonna
No
lie.
comment. No comment.
No, I do.
No, look, he's going to make a good living wherever he wants to go. But like,
a
why
different
wouldn't
league.
he? Why
Nobody
wouldn't he?
plays
The
that
NBA
way.
is the NBA. People don't understand. It's so hard to put into words how good NBA players are now. Like Randolph, one of the greatest college players of all time, played in the NBA for a while. Like he knows. The league has just gotten better in the 5 years since he retired.
Better put a 1 in front of that.
Round up.
But
Close to a 2.
but the NBA is so good now.
No, the guard
It's
play is
like-
so strong.
And the guards are
drop
6'10".
coverage stuff. You get away with in college and challenging guys mid range and all that kind
Guys,
of
two guards
stuff.
are 6'7", 6'8".
No.
Two guards.
No.
It's impossible. It's such a different. It's different. I don't know how to put that. It's just different.
So if he does come back then, if it's the done deal you guys say it is, where would you put Purdue? Given the way their season ended, given how they were this dominant #1 team in the country for much of the year, are they your #1 next year?
Who would they leave? Who would they lose right now? Both the freshmen come back.
Not really
I
anybody.
think they lose David Jenkins. That's it.
Yeah.
Put them in the top 3. Put them in the top
Even,
3.
No.
even given the way the season ended.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
they're top 5.
Yes. They're one.
We
It's
alluded.
regular season.
They're one.
It's
Yeah,
regular season.
we alluded to it with Brad Underwood a second ago. Like it's unfair to judge a team on one tournament game. Like that team was spectacular.
Is it fair to judge a coach off 3 consecutive 13, 15, 16 losses?
Now that part's fair. But that being said, like
Come
that
on,
team
man.
is good.
Take it easy on Painter.
I like Payne. I
He's a
think
great
he's
coach. He
But
just
it's
needs that one
it's
run
the
to get over
danger
the
of the
hump.
tournament. And when you have a legitimate big, that's not very mobile. They can't switch. That team forced them to do something that he hadn't done all year. They had to switch 5, and he had to guard on the perimeter when he hadn't left the paint all year long.
Yeah.
And that was just what happened to him.
I
He's
also-
guarding a 6'3" guard on the three-point line.
I also don't put that on Edey.
No, it's not his fault.
That was a game where those freshmen, and I kind of wanted Brad to talk about it a little bit. The fact that Lawyer and Smith hadn't seen pressure and traps and anything all season long, and then all of a sudden now they're going to play in the NCAA tournament against a small team who's junking it up, who's trapping in the full court. They didn't even, half the time, like Painter would have to call timeout, tell those guys to get in the middle. Like it's a hard balance between going straight from Big Ten play, where everybody plays similarly, to going and playing some of these smaller teams that have to junk it up because of the lack of resources. Some of the, and I'm not going to say lack of talent. That's not what I'm saying. The lack of size, and they have to do things differently. Big Ten doesn't do anything differently.
Right.
I thought the pressure bothered everybody else but Zach Edey on their team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
The guards
I'm out of coffee.
unwillingly
Tough.
turned down
Matthew
shots.
Meyer would never.
You know, those guys turned down shots and didn't make shots. I mean, that's the bottom line. He did his job. He was dominant, forced he had always been. They had looks. They didn't take them. And, they went down. I mean, it's going to be that way. Their Achilles heel all year long is going to be, again, for big and stretch him out, pick and pop 5, which not a lot of people have, but
Right.
mid-majors and lower level D1 schools have.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting because those issues will still be there with that team. You hope the backcourt gets a lot better. I think they will.
They will.
Freshmen
They'll be
typically
right
do
there
get
again.
better, right, Cart?
They do. Yeah, of course they do.
But
And they had a great freshman year. You can't
If
take,
I'm
you
a
can't take that away
transfer,
from them.
Great?
They
if
had
I'm,
great
if I'm a
freshman
transfer
year.
wing,
Great.
that's where I'm looking.
Yes. They were a starting.
Yeah.
back-
'Cause
they
I'm
were-
gonna get shots.
They were
So,
a
okay.
starting backcourt for a top 5 team all year. That's a
They,
great
they
freshman
shouldn't have
year.
ever been top 5, though.
Yes,
they
they
shouldn't have
should
ever been
have.
top
Yes,
5.
they should have.
So I threw this hypothetical at him on our 18-hour drive here, Blue Collar Podcast. That's what we are, ladies and gentlemen. If Purdue hypothetically could take their team that they have for next year, and it is what it is, let's see, they're probably preseason number 1, who knows? Zach Edey's back, everybody's back. Or they could get Zach Edey back, and they could take Florida Atlantic's entire team, other than their center Golden. Give me every Florida Atlantic guard in a Purdue uniform next year with Zach Edey. Which one are you taking?
Well, that's a Final Four team.
Yeah.
One of them is.
This year.
That might be a national champ.
One of them is. All right. I'm just
A
saying.
couple more shooters.
I'm here to tamper a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
You're starting stuff.
It is what it is.
The instigating stuff.
It is what it is. Instigate me? Never. See, never. All right. We are, 45 minutes into our show here live at Little Woodrow's. Coming up, we're going to play Transfer Matchmaker. Speaking of instigate, we're going to do some more instigating in the portal, guys. That's next on the Field of 68 from the Final Four.
Today's episode is presented by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball's pick'em, where you get real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, all you do is pick whether a player will go higher or lower in Underdog's projected totals. That's points, rebounds, whatever. If you're like me and you think Marquise Noel is going to go absolutely nuts this weekend, pick higher on his points projection, throw in a couple of other picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Get in on the madness now.